As we take you around Puerto Rico, you know we love to sample the food and have you meet the people you need to know. And Mario Pagan is renowned on the island. He is the owner and master chef at Laurel Restaurant at the Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico.
Wow.
See, I learned quick, right? So Mario, your name is synonymous with not just amazing food, but cuisine art. You take your culinary skills to another artistic level. Tell us about your style.
Well, you know what? The stage that we have here at the Museum of Art of Puerto Rico, or Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico, it's quite a unique landmark, and we are just trying to mix the art of food with the visual art of the museum and all its greatness.
Now, you have made your mark internationally. You're a former Iron Chef with the popular Food Network TV show. Tell us about that experience.
Well, like anything else on the Food Network, that was quite unique. And just Food Network invited me to do the show, and it was third season of Next Iron Chef. I would love to do it again because it was just one of those things that when the first time you went to Disney World.
Yeah.
That kind of a feeling, and there's nothing that you can reproduce that will make you feel like that. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and as a Caribbean chef, because that season you were the first and only Caribbean chef featured on the series. What do you think, working at that level and experiencing the culinary craft at that level does for you as a chef and for other chefs in the Caribbean?
Well, definitely brought my A game to the show, but there wasn't a single plantain or a yuca or a sweet potato in that whole pantry. So I tried to deal with anything that I had there, but we tried to do our best, and I think we did. So.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Laurel. It means Bayleaf.
Bayleaf.
In English.
Bayleaf.
Tell me about that inspiration.
Bayleaf. I just wanted to pay homage to the bayleaf, the discarded bayleaf in every stew or every meal that we do. We just season everything really good with bayleaf and then we throw it out. So I wanted to, pay tribute to it.
Oh, no, you use a lot of really unique herbs and spices that are local to Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. Tell us about your crafts and how you infuse the different flavors of the region.
I try to utilize not only the spices around the islands, but the techniques of processing pretty much every food. As I was talking to you earlier, that some of my customers are crazy about the Johnny cakes that we do in the restaurant, and they go like, "Why Johnny cakes?" Dude, I love we're island people, so we have to communicate with each other. We do a lot of stuff from the Dominican Republic as well as the Bahamas, and everything that we do, it turns is to try to turn island food into international food, with its base and right down to the final product. If you take the islands, there's a big difference in between the islands and the States and Europe and this and that, because in the early days, people in the islands didn't have a lot of things to work with. Everything was done artisanal, by hand, and all those breads that you do by hand and all those spices that you grind by hand and everything that you do around the islands is just completely different like when you go somewhere else around the world, so it has this mystique of different and handmade and artisanal and a lot of coconut and I love a lot.
yeah, it's really in the spirit of the food.
And of course the fish.
Yeah.
We have the biggest pond of beautiful fish around us, and I think that we have to appreciate that and enjoy that and just try to promote, of course, conscious fishing, but definitely our fish are the best around the islands. So
Evo Caribe, you've turned me on to that.
It's a new thing, baby.
Tell us all about it.
Well, it's just trying. There was a big movement in the early 90s called Nuevo Latino. I think that movement was started by one of the greatest chefs in Latin America, and Douglas Rodriguez, a good friend. And I think that Nuevo Caribe is gonna bring everybody together in the Caribbean, and that's what I would love to do along with my colleagues, because I think that we have a lot to offer in the islands, and we can definitely be one of the main players around the world.
You see why we love this guy? Still to come on Island Exclusive.